Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let me see who's here. Um, okay, going all the way back to the beginning. Judith Reynolds, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And Connie Balmer, Lydia, Sonia Johnson, Brenda Phillips, and there's a super chat. I unsubscribed the shorts link, Baron. I sent thinking it was fake, and it unsubscribed me from Royal Sussex. But I've since subscribed again, and now I can't join the live chat. Anyhow, hi everyone. Well, you just have to wait a week. Sorry about that, 10. I am so sorry that caused so much confusion for everyone. But the whole point of the short was just to drive up membership for the channel, not to sow seeds of confusion. But in the future, just so you know, I will probably have some more shorts, some more. Oh boy, there was that fifth grade education. I'll probably have additional shorts coming out soon. Again, to grow the channel and to help expand the Sussex Squad, Sussex Friendly Channel universe. But yeah, so just give it a week and it should all work out. Okay. Thank you so much, 10, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you for the super chat. Okay. Yeah, I had no idea that that would lead to confusion. So if you guys see the. Okay, well, since we're on this topic, let me explain how the YouTube works. So, if you guys remember, I had a video some time ago. As a matter of fact, it was for the Queen after she died. It was about the Queen's tomb. Well, that video has received a whopping 2.6 million views. My most successful video ever on Royal Sussex. And some genius thought it was a good idea to just absolutely record, screen record the entire video, sound included. But I got an alert from YouTube letting me know, hey, guess what? Somebody is messing with your copyright. Would you like to put in a copyright claim? And yes, I did. Now, there's two things that could happen. You can put in a claim, and that person would be penalized for it. Or you can just ask them to remove it, and they get a warning, and that's it. So I left them with a warning. And then, interestingly enough, when I saw the alert for that, there was another alert because one of the Sussex friendly channels used a portion of a video that I custom made myself. I mean, it was two videos linked together from a I'm going to say it was from another social media platform, but it wasn't copyrighted, so it was okay to use. Have to be very careful about that. But because this other Sussex friendly channel used it, I received a notification. I didn't ask them to remove it, and I didn't certainly didn't ask them to have a strike against their account. But those are the two things that happened. So I appreciate you guys being very helpful and considering that someone had copied the Royal Sussex. But just so you know, in all likelihood, if that ever happens, then the algorithm will pick it up, the artificial intelligence, sound, words, images, all of it is well, most of the times when you receive a copyright strike, it's not because the content creators where was able to see it. YouTube flags it automatically and then presents it to you, and then you have a couple options at that point. So, um, interestingly enough, even though I said nothing about the content creator using a portion of my video, at least the one that I didn't file a complaint against, someone else did. As a matter of fact, seems like they have been in trouble with that a couple times. So I've had strikes against me. People have taken my stuff, but I don't have to see it myself. The AI will tell the story. So I'm just letting you guys know that that's how it works. So if something like that ever happens again, just know that most likely I will receive a notification saying that someone has used my video, even if it's just a portion of it. They are very good with the artificial intelligence of picking up those things. So that is how it works. It's unbelievable how much technology is involved, but they can they're pretty good at it. Language, images, all of that stuff. I mean, thank goodness we pretty much are free to use whatever photos, but videos, that's the issue. But yeah, so that's what happens with that. All right, so thank you, Tin, for helping me out with that because I wanted to mention that anyway. So that was a nice segue. Official Lauren Brown is in town. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see. Pressure. Why? What happened? Let me see here. All right, I'm scrolling. Oh, okay. 670 people already. Very good. Oh, let me adjust this. All right. Okay. Joan Commonwealther is here. Diana Ortiz. Emma D. Berta Sanchez. Rhonda Bryant is here. Gwendolyn Daniels. Margaret Rowland. And special thanks to, I received a PayPal. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. But yeah, thank you so much for that. I did receive your PayPal. Let me see. I will give the initials. D as in Doris and R as in Roberts. DR. Thank you so much for the PayPal. And hi, did I say hi to Brenda Phillips? Brenda Gray. Foolish Babe. Okay, I like that. Excuse me. Helene Groen, thank you so much for being here. Amika Amachukwa, thank you so much for being here. Puzzle Dot. Marcy Foreman, Nobi D, Compton Cali Gal. Okay, I'm going to take a big scroll because I can see that there's a lot of comments coming up. So I'm going to skip a bunch of stuff. And hey, Mo Shannon, I'm scrolling. Keep those bills a turning. Rawhide, ride 'em in, head 'em up. Okay, last comment is Black Queen saying hi to a few people. We love to help out with that. Last of the last, Anastasia Isabella, very cool. All right, so let's move on, shall we? Oh, there we go. I'm going to take myself out of here. And there we go. So it is February, Black History Month. And in the United States, if you don't know, I'll tell you, our Black History Month is in February. And I think the UK is October or something like that. I don't know about Canada. But anyway, so Black History Month, every month, as far as I'm concerned, is Black History Month here in the United States. Never have so few owed so much to so many. The very fabric of this nation is woven from the constant contributions of African Americans. African Americans have done everything from pick cotton and tobacco to the space program. We helped put a man on the moon. And of course, other inventions and contributions. And yes, we helped to create something called jazz, the most American form of music you'll find anywhere. There's no other music in this world that screams America more than jazz. Well, I guess you could say hip hop and rap, but yeah, jazz. And then there's soul music, but jazz. All right. Daniel Medical, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. All right. Let me see. Okay. All right. So we're good? Good. All right. Let's move on then. Get back over here. And woo! Oh, are we in trouble? Did, did someone upset your sensibility? New polling conducted after the publication of Prince Harry's book Spare shows that a majority, 52% of the 18 to 24-year-olds now want to abolish the monarchy, up from just 15% in 2015. Now, can you believe that? I mean, it's not just an elected head of state. Abolish the monarchy. These young people have become abolitionists. They want to abolish the monarchy. Oy vey, 52% want an elected head of government, and only 34% actually choose monarchy. Am I understanding that right? Wow. But you have 52% that want an elected head of state. Go figure. Was it something they said? Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Thank you for being here. But yes, the tide is turning. It must have been something in that book. I can't imagine what he said. Well, yes, I could. I mean, I did listen to the audio version of the book. But yeah, they are in a heap of trouble. Something is rotten down in the land of cotton. I mean, they are just what is going I say with an air of sarcasm, what is going on? I mean, it's frightful, isn't it? Well, can we really be surprised though? It is an archaic, ancient system, a feudalism, serfdom, if you will. Nobody wants that anymore. This is the modern age. I mean, democracy has been around since what? The Roman times, the Greek times? Well, it's modern times, and people want to rid themselves of a system that gives one family more entitlement, more wealth than could ever be calculated in a lifetime. Unless you go offshore, you'll find some of the money there. But people want a change of system. These are modern times. It is times to embrace democracy, or at the very least, a representatory republic in which there is a vote for representation that is fair and just, not just parts of the government, no unelected lords in the House of Lords, and of course, an elected head of state, a prime minister that's just a puppet and a showpiece just to make it seem as though there is fairness in the system. Nobody wants that. People want an elected head of state, and that's what they shall have. The idea that the monarchy somehow is a safeguard against things like, I don't know, a President Trump, or, well, I guess that doesn't help, does it? Because I would say that Boris Johnson is just a chip off the old Trump. And that certainly didn't make a difference. You had someone who was somewhat elected to office, a politician who made a career, made a meal out of lying about everything, and then gaslighting the public, and it seems as though the common person was powerless. So the whole system probably needs to be reformed. And this idea that so much of the government is entangled with that unelected head of state is a bunch of nonsense. Nothing is impossible. Everything seems to be impossible until it is done. And then, of course, we find out otherwise. So I'm just saying. Now, the other day, I was criticized by someone in the comments who told me, "You're not even British. How dare you talk about our government? Why don't you worry about your own backyard?" Well, I would say that is fair, except every day I am bombarded with headlines and stories and all types of gaslighting and propaganda from a foreign born um, I guess, CEO or founder of News Corp, among other places? Or what about the racially ambiguous Lord Nappyhead and his brand of news, which is the most widely read English language publication in the world? And that is also something not of the United States. But every day, his paper insists that the president's son, the president of the United States' son, is available to be lambasted and beat upon, and or should I say, figuratively beat upon and menaced and bullied by their newspaper. And I'm not supposed to say anything. I'm supposed to just shake my head and agree. Well, the thing is, that bothers me that news organizations like Lord Nappyhead, who seems to be racially ambiguous, his brand of news, along with Rupert Murdoch, seems to have wreaked havoc that is, on Western civilization. But if I decide that I want to take exception with something like, I don't know, a Boris Johnson or King Charles III, I don't seem to have a right to do that. I'm supposed to take it but never give it. Well, the truth is, I'm just as critical about some sectors of the United States, but where this is concerned, this is a an institution, the royal family, and of course the propaganda machine known as the British tabloid media that has been targeting another American, Rachel Meghan Markle, aka the Duchess of Sussex, also known as Princess Meghan by me. Every day I'm watching an American being viciously attacked over the airwaves by these foreign news agencies. So I feel obliged to give it just as well as I have to take it. So I think I'm entitled. Thank you so much, Connie Balmer. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Thank you for being here. Oh, and you're a member as well. Thank you. Okay, so that's how I feel about that. I feel entitled as an American to defend the person that I voted for president, which, by the way, well, I'll talk about that later, but it's been a pretty good week for Biden. And yes, he was a lesser of two evils, but I think he was the right man at the right time to rid me of the orange menace. So, cheers for that. Sandra C., thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Well, Church Nelly, I don't think we've actually come to that point yet, but stick around. We'll see. Uh, oh man. Oh, is that a hmm. Oh, let me see if I can do something about that. I'm surprised I don't have another screen open. Let me see. Right. I should anyway, so I can see things that you guys can see. So, right. There's a little echo. I should anyway, so I can. There we go. I have just shut down the echo, and now I will hunt down that and post it to the top of the chat. There you have it. All right, so there's the link for the memberships to Royal Sussex. Still a bargain at just $4.99. Still a bargain until I change it sometimes in 2026, I think. All right, if ever. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Marshar says Bojo tried to tell ABC News Lindsay Davis that having a monarchy was better than having two governing parties. She looked at him because they both knew he was lying. Oh, wow. Um, if you guys have been watching James O'Brien the past week, oh my goodness, he was on fire talking to people about Brexit, among other things. And yeah, he's incredible. I, I sometimes I just I don't care what the topic is. He can really carry a conversation. So, but yeah, I mean, Boris Johnson. Oh man. And to think he's an American. Well, at least he was born here, even though he's renounced his citizenship to avoid taxes. But he's a lot of things to a lot of people, but he's never the same thing twice. And that's the problem. Okay, so speaking of problems, the royal family has a headache with this because they depend on people's goodwill and their popularity in order to stay, I would say, in power, but I'm not sure what they do, but to stay, you know, to stay there. I'll just say stay there because I'm not sure what how to qualify what they do, but to stay royal, I mean, they'll always be royal, but to maintain their position. Okay, that's what I'll say. So they depend on the public for that to maintain their position. And that's it's really the consent and the will of the people. If they want to stay where they are, I don't know whose call it is, whether it's Rishi Sunak or whether it's whatever unseen hand, but they better do something because it's the economy, stupid. And we are looking at post war Britain slowly emerging on the stage, post war Britain. And I remember, watching like movies from that era when things were so bad after the Second World War. And from what I hear, it was pretty tough. And considering that this is still one of the largest economies in the world, the disparity of the poor compared to the haves and haves mores is staggering. Now, right now in the United States, I would say that a lot of people really benefited from the pandemic in that with the money that was just printed overnight, yeah, we are suffering from inflation because of it. But there were people who had never had as many money saved, people who never had a new sofa, never had a new anything that finally had a chance to really benefit from being an American citizen. And that was a beautiful thing. I mean, it was like, yeah, I know it's awful. It was during a pandemic, but people were able to have time off from work and money in the bank at the same time. That was insane, but I loved it. I mean, there are people who I would just say deserved it far more than I did. People who really, I mean, I could think of people that I know have worked hard and never had anything extra for themselves. And I hope people will remember that during this period of, you know, inflation, because Yeah, it probably did help push the inflation up because there was so much money that was just printed and handed out. But dear God, I tell you, I could think of quite a few people that I know deserve to have money in the bank and time off from work. And I hope, that more people didn't suffer otherwise. But yeah, that's what I get from it. That was a rare time in this country where there was a big comeuppance. But just like so many other places, um, the rich people were the ones who benefited the most. I don't care whether it's the UK or the US. Rich people got over in ways that you can't even calculate, and that's a problem too. But yeah, good luck, Charlie, because you are going to need it. Well, William will probably need it more, but okay. Anfu says, as a Britisher from the East End of London, I say to you, Baron, rock on. Oh, thank you so much, Anfu. And okay. Okay, there we go. Reba Henderson says Baron Hunter Biden has put his lawyers on his accusers. He is not playing with these people anymore. Reba, every time I see something about Hunter Biden and his computer, I just the media, the American media, quite fairly, isn't making much of it. It is the tabloid media that seems to have made a big deal out of it. Most people are so turned off by it because this is the United States, and this is what a lot of these tabloid news agencies get wrong. I lived through the crack epidemic. I lived through the AIDS epidemic. I lived through quite a few of these things, right? I was born during the Cold War. I was born during the Vietnam War. So I didn't live through this stuff. And because of Vietnam, a lot of people for the first time found out what it was like to have someone addicted to drugs in the family. And by the time we got to the crack epidemic, I mean, who didn't know someone that hadn't suffered because someone was addicted to drugs? And now we're living through an opium epidemic. And so, if they think it is going to cause humiliation and shame, or possibly cost an election for Joe Biden because they are humiliating his family or trying to, or humiliating his son or trying to, I think they are picking the wrong horse again. Just like they think that Megan not being invited to a party that she probably didn't want to go to anyway, or not being in a certain circle of friends that she may not care to know anyway is supposed to be hurtful to her. They just don't understand the culture. They really don't get it. And they never will because things like titles or someone having suffered from drug addiction or something like that, that only goes to show that they have no firm understanding of the culture here in the United States. Number one, everybody knows someone who has suffered because of drug addiction. Number two, we respect work. We may not like what you've done and we may not ever approve of it. But if you have worked hard and you haven't broken any laws to speak of, if you haven't done anything that involved the kind of Andrew stuff, you're probably okay. A matter of fact, people will celebrate your accomplishment. They don't get that. We don't care about the titles, and we do love and reward hard work. Full stop. So it's a waste of time what they're doing with Biden's son. That is it Hunter? It's a waste of time. But it only shows how malicious they are. And it just goes to show that, yes, even the president of the United States and his family has suffered because of chemical dependency, like so many other people in this country. But right now in this country, gun violence and drug dependence is an epidemic. And so it only humanizes people to know that someone has suffered through either one of those things and live to tell it and more openly to discuss it. That makes them human. It doesn't make them someone to be ashamed or embarrassed. Thank you so much, Reba. Okay. Yeah, they just don't understand. They really don't. Let me see. Nope, that's not for me. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on. Nope, that ain't for me either. Mm, nope, 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 nope. Uh, okay, Mad World says I'm off by it because I feel like if the orange one and his family can get a pass with rumored activities, then so can Hunter Biden. Yeah, that one thing that was it a tape that they played where Biden told his son, "I love you," and you're stronger than that, or something like that. I'm just like, why would you think? What makes you think that that's going to hurt him? What makes that in the public interest, number one? And what makes you think that that is going to hurt him? Oh, these people, they're so blinded by negativity and hate that they don't even see, you know, the lack of logic where that's concerned. Let me see here. Okay, and Donna Reese says, turns out that wasn't Oprah's birthday party. Yeah, I hear it was something else. It was the owner of the salon celebrating 25. Isn't she a billionaire? She was like, she had, I did she do eyebrows or something? But anyway, they say her company is worth $3 billion or something. I can't remember what they said exactly, but apparently the company or her, whatever her situation is financially, she has made some very powerful friends, and she's an immigrant from, was it the Czech Republic? She immigrated from the Czech Republic and is a billionaire, I think. She's got about the same money as Oprah. Go figure. Let me see here. Okay. And Rupert Murdoch attacked Harry and Meghan again in his Times paper, claiming Harry's book makes it easier to deny the Holocaust. He does this while being sued by uh, Dominion voting machines for $1.6 billion. Yeah, interesting story about that, Reba, but you probably know already, is that I believe it was Fox News was complaining that the voting machines caused the elections to go in favor of the Democrat candidates for the various offices, when the truth is it wasn't even their voting machines that were used. And also, I think in every case, the voting machines that were used were the ones that were selected by the Republican, uh, like election chairperson or state chair, or not the state. I forget what the position is called, but I know that the elections in individual states and counties are run by the officials, and it's not a federal thing. So um, you guys that are not from the United States, I don't know how we ever get an election off, but every state and county have their own election officials, and there's no such thing as any of them doing it the same way. Everybody does something different or a variation of different things. And so, because of that, um, when I say it was likely a Republican that chose the voting machines, and even in spite of that, the Democrat won, is the Fox News seemed to be pushing or gaslighting or trying to spread this propaganda that there was some type of sleight of hand involved with the election, which it certainly was not. As much as they try to push that theory, election fraud is pretty rare. And it's always funny after election day when they say, aha, see, I told you so. It turns out that there was what do you call it? A Republican that was actually the one cheating. Oh, man. So thank you for that again, Reva. All right. So moving on with this. Oh, there he is. Oh, my goodness. I got to turn this ringer off. My phone is like going crazy. All right. Pitiful, pitiful Chuck. Poor Charles. It is like an old, you know how sometimes you see those like turtles um, that turn out they're like hundreds of years old. That is kind of like King Charles right now. If somebody said that he was born around the time that they were signing the Declaration of Independence, I would say, yeah, I could see that. I don't even want to say he's aged a lot since his mother died, but this is when you get up close like that and you can really see the lines in his face, see the character that has formed over years of being rich and having to do very little for it. You can really take a measure of the man. And well, anyway, I just I by the time by the time the coronation day comes, I dread the fact that we have to wade through so much of all of this. Will they or won't they? Will he or won't he? And all of that kind of stuff we have to go through up until that point. But unfortunately, that is what it's going to take. Now, I know there's a lot of people who do not want the Sussexes to go to the coronation. I'm inclined to say I really don't want them to either because I can't see any good that comes of it. But because I respect their decision, I'm going to be open to it and hope that they have a good handle on the outcome. I'll just say that because it's it is family. You know, Meghan married into the family and Harry was born into it. So it is kind of difficult to make that call for someone else. But we want them to be safe. First and foremost, we think about their safety. And well, we just don't want any tragedies and we don't want them to be humiliated or embarrassed in any way. It was enough that happened during the Jubilee and so much worse for the Queen's state funeral and mourning period. And, you know, it really started even before Prince Philip's funeral. So I'm going to respect their choice. I hope that there'll be like a point where we don't have to hear about it every time we pick up our devices or whatever. I hope we don't have to keep hearing about it. But well, they're starting early, aren't they? They're starting early this time, and it doesn't seem to be any let up. And it's clickbait. Thank you, Lauren. I do my best. Thank you so much. But then again, there seems to be this big protest that's coming up. And I can't help but think that the will they or won't they is to try to cover for the fact that there is going to be, from what I can see, I'm not saying I'm doing any wishful thinking, but there's going to be mass protests at or about or near or even on the day of the coronation. Now, I think there's a big one scheduled in Wales for the 20th of May, but the coronation, I believe, is the 6th of May. And then, of course, up until that point, Scotland seems to be marching toward independence. I don't think Wales is as close as Scotland is, but the first big step for both is that they both have their own parliaments. So they have a slight amount of autonomy now with their parliaments. But there's like a majority of people in Scotland who definitely want independence. As for Wales, I'm not so sure. But let's see what King Charles, let's see what his popularity is like in Wales.
Charles, while we struggle to heat our homes, we have to pay for your parade. The taxpayer pays 100 million for you, and what for? Needham Renin, not my king.
Now, my favorite part about this is that Charles reminds me of another Charles, as I have so much fun pointing out. He reminds me of Charles Nelson Riley. When the guy confronts him, he makes this big Charles Nelson Riley face. And then I realized, oh my goodness, not only does he do that, but so did the Queen. That's like a very immature, almost pubescent-like reaction when you find out that somebody's got your number. So let's see that again, shall we?
Charles, while we struggle to heat our homes, we have to pay for your parade. The taxpayer pays 100 million for you, and what for? Needham Renin, not my king.
So yes, Neiman Marcus, he said, not my king. That's Welsh for not my king. Neiman Marcus. That means not my king. Or in Charles' case, it means Charles Nelson Riley. So when I say that I don't want to hear about will they or won't they, at the same time, I do want to see what's going to happen. Not wishing anything bad. And as the prices of eggs are already incredibly high, I'm certainly hoping that there's not a run on the market just to send him a message. But I'm just saying it's a bit tiresome at this point. And as Lauren say, it's best to stay positive, or I'm going to try to stay positive. Now, it seems as though things are getting so heated in Britain right now. One of the satellites in orbit was doing its usual, observations, and they realized that perhaps some ancient tribes still exist in Britain, and it seems as though they are appealing for help. It was observed from a satellite that small barn fires were set in a pattern where it appears as though they're asking for help. Either that or it says, Neiman Marcus. So it looks like help, but maybe in ancient English, it means Neiman Marcus, not my king. So yeah, I don't know if you guys had seen this. While they were trying to figure out what that Chinese balloon was doing, they picked up on this. So interesting, right? You just never really know what's going on. From a distance, the British are saying Neiman Marcus. From a distance, the world. Oh, I forgot that song. But yeah, anyway, it seems as though some ancient tribes of Britannia is appealing Maybe they're asking God for help. Maybe maybe this message is for God. Lord, please help us. Help us. Save us from Charles Nelson Riley III. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they want to be saved from Charles Nelson Riley III. It's hard to say. But yeah, so you guys, this was on. You have to go to like Reddit to find this. I'm just kidding, but okay. Should let me see. What is it? Okay, the king should be bold and set Australia free. Can you believe that? Janice Turner wrote an article, and I guess it would save a lot of trouble. Just set us free. Don't wait until there's a referendum. Just set us free. Can you believe this? I mean, I knew things. I knew things were going to get weird when the queen died. Um, but I had no idea that even before the queen's funeral, that there would be so much contempt for Charles or for the institution itself. But it has been and it continues to be. So that is one of those things that you knew it was coming, but you just did not expect it to be, this in your face. So, okay. Let me take a look at a couple of your comments before I move on. Shows a commence utils utilizer Harry Juice Le Monde de la Diana Carr. Oh, and you know what, Charlotte? I was just thinking that myself. I said that to myself. And when I was saying it to myself this morning in my head, my French was fluent. But right now, my words are a bit jumbled. So, but yeah, you understand what I said. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Okay. I feel for Harry because family is everything to him, even though they have been spiteful and evil against his wife and kids. Yeah, you can't help but feel for Harry because, like I said, he has been adopted by probably 2 billion people in this world since his mother died, and from that time, we've watched him grow. We've seen him suffer. And then after the book Spare comes out, we find out that things were even worse, that he had been mistreated. And nothing gets to me like seeing that picture of him in church that day with his head turned away from everyone. And I thought that was about the worst of it, right? And then I saw the picture of him with the bin liner taking his belongings in a big plastic bag from a private school. You know, his grandmother is the queen. And there was like his leaving to go home, wherever home was like a big afterthought. It's incredible to believe that Prince Harry's upbringing, at one point, you're meeting leaders of the great and good all over the world, and some that are not, and you're dining, in these great halls at Christmas and such, but yet some parts of your upbringing seem more like you're in foster care. I mean, literally, it seemed like he was in foster care, a very gilded cage, but foster care. A lot of his upbringing after his mom seemed like he was in foster care. That is incredible to me. That's what I got from the book. Maybe I'm reading it wrong or or not. I don't know, but it just seemed rather neglectful. And says, I'm hoping that Harry will decline the invitation. Safety for Meghan and this he what is that? My king does not appreciate Archie and Lilibet Diana holding on to putting the children on the royal list. Um, okay, but they are already prince and princess. The only thing that is missing is a formal acknowledgement. If Parliament has not had a debate about it, and if Charles does not even mention it, even the newspapers, even the dreaded tabloids, it's not whether or not Charles wants it to happen, is that they already have the titles. When his mother took her last breath, unless there is some surprise document that can be produced saying otherwise, they already have their titles. Charles would have to actively do something to take that away from them. But saying nothing and doing nothing does not make it untrue. He would have to petition, I suppose, the Parliament to have a debate about it, or someone in Parliament would have to introduce a bill for them to debate and then vote upon. Getting rid of titles is the hard part. Giving them is at the Queen could have conferred any title she wanted to. Now he can do the same. But to take them away, rightly so, is more than just a notion. So the fact that it's not on the official royal website, the fact that he has not mentioned it or hasn't made any formal announcement of it, but I don't think that matters. Now, for Prince of Wales, that has to, I think that William could have been left hanging as not being officially recognized as a Prince of Wales. I think he could have just left that the way it was until the day he died. And he would have never received all of the, stuff that goes with that title. But he did it right away. But with Archie and Lily, he has decided to withhold that. And even after Lily was born, they wouldn't even change they wouldn't even mention her, was it? They didn't give her a name on the official website. So, oh man, I don't know what they're thinking, but the rule is the rule, even if they don't want to recognize it. And it's just really too bad that, again, when it has to do with people of color, everything turns very different. In the 11th hour or even sooner, everything just changes. The goalposts have been moved. Just like Harry said, with his upbringing, they kept moving the goalposts. They kept moving the goalposts. And now they want to do it to his children. They have to earn their titles. That would imply that anybody in that family had actually earned their titles. Lauren Brown says, I am surprised he is not more ready for these comments, since it seems it happened to him all the time at these events. Oh, you mean the Neiman Marcus? Oh man. Let me see. So what if Charles waited a decade? I wonder. I usually defer to Elaine about these matters, or let me see, I'm trying to think who else, but that's just the way I understood it. They already have a title, and that's that. And you would have to actively do something to take those titles away. And I believe that that's something, just like stripping Harry of his titles, that would have to be done through the Parliament. They don't want it where the sovereign can just capriciously just take these things away, because it would set a precedence. And once that starts, by the time it's over with, you will have more than just, what was it, 53% or 54% of young people saying abolish the monarchy. If you're going to do it to them, then, without him saying anything, that's the easiest thing. It would be better for him to not say anything or do anything. If I was Charles and I did not want them to have those titles or even seem as though they have those titles, I would just say nothing. The worst thing he could do is to take a stand. If he starts picking and choosing, then that is what's going to start a debate, not in Parliament, but amongst the public. And I don't think he wants that smoke. So the best thing to do is to say nothing. Moshana says, "Hey Baron, that's so-called royal family doesn't do setting folks free well, ain't in their blood. Quite the opposite." Okay. Yes. What is going on with that? Please hit the like button. You guys, I was looking at this one kid's website, and he has one for credit cards. If you have a credit card and you don't know how to get all the benefits out of it, I suggest watching one of those YouTube videos, because they pick out the big things from the small print, and it just makes it easier for you. Or if you're shopping for one, then that's a good place to go, is to, solicit some opinions from a few different channels, and you can hear real life experiences with them. Well, this kid has a channel. He just started the channel last month, and someone said, I can't understand what you're saying. It looks like you're just reading to us, or something like that. And I noticed that he gave, he acknowledged everybody's comment but that one. And I wasn't even planning to subscribe, but I did. And I sent him a message and just reminded him to ignore the negativity. Gosh, he just started the channel last month. He has to find his voice. When you're on social media platforms like this, you have to find your voice. It doesn't just happen. God, I hate when people are so hypercritical like that. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's it. But this person was trying to do everything that they could to undermine his confidence. And so for that reason, I said, not only do I want you to ignore that, but I am now a subscriber. Good for you. So, yeah. People can be so mean. All right. Let's move on. So, Jeremy Clarkson faces more backlash what is that up there? To Meghan Markle's comments. Shouldn't it be for Meghan? No, to Meghan Markle's comments. Okay. For the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Celebrity special, after 3 female stars refused to work with presenter in the wake of controversial column on Duchess of Sussex. Well, they said that these 3 ladies took exception to it and didn't want to work with him. But I thought that they had canceled him. But what it is that they are saying that there's some issue with the production. So he hasn't been completely removed from the project yet, is what I understand. But, bravo and good for them that they are standing up for other women, because to work with him is to give him a tacit amount of approval for being a pig, and that should never happen. So, good for them. I'm actually surprised, though. I'm really surprised, because given his popularity, and he is still very popular, it helps your career to be on any show where he's part of the production. But for some people, it's just not worth selling your soul to someone with such bad teeth. someone someone who has mercury leaking into their gums from their fillings that they got back in the 1960s that look like mercury. Um, so yeah, so anyone who has those mercury fillers in their teeth doesn't deserve to be on television, especially with all the technology we have today. How dare he? How dare he? Let me see here. Charles III getting rid of Archie and Lily's title is not smart. He is just hoping to hide it via obscurity, a metaphorical removal. Exactly. By not acknowledging it and hoping that nobody notices, and then probably try to fast track some type of removal. And of course, if he, like you say, if he just hoping to hide it via obscurity, and of course, by not mentioning it, it would always create that doubt as to whether or not it is actually, given titles for them. And then, of course, when the kids have any type of uh, like school, would you call it? Well, when they sign the kids up for school or whatever public documentation that they have for the kids, where their education is concerned, if there is a possibility that they can get hold of that information so that they can see what names and or titles are listed for those documents. Now, curiously enough, when Lily was born, Megan did not use her title. She just used her birth name. Harry really didn't have a choice either way because his name is Prince Harry. So there's no way he could not use his name unless he himself had relinquished his titles and just chose to, legally change his name, I suppose. But he doesn't really have an option with that. So let me see. Charles would have to say he wants to remove titles and with his whole chest, and not sure how he would explain that. Well, who knows how much time he has to explain it. Like, for instance, I had a video that got 2.6 million views when the Queen passed away. Now, right now, I am waiting for one of those air horns like they have at the football games and baseball games. I have ordered one of those. The only other thing I need, and maybe you could help me with this, I need a direct line to Charles's mobile phone because I don't want to have to wait years to make another. I don't want to have to wait years to make another one of those videos. So I'm hoping that I can call Charles direct. And when he answers the phone, oh, God, hello. And then I just wait. And with the size of his ears, the sound is going to be particularly loud. So that is my plan, is that to ensure that I can get another one of those good videos, I am going to ring him up. Hello. Oh, God, Camilla, some buffoon has done it again. They keep blowing the damn air horn in the phone. I hate bloody air horns. Oh, man. So, oh, man, what am I talking about? Okay, so did I do this twice? Wait a minute. Did I do that twice? Why do I have that again? Oh, we will. Oh, no, this is something different. We will soon have a nation of indie converts, says Adam Price, writes for the Wells Online about his campaign for independence. And one of the reasons why this might happen is because of the NHS. It's the NHS. That is why this may happen, because of the lack of medical coverage, because of the long waits, because of the what do you call it? Those empty positions. They need nurses. They need funding. And one of the reasons why there may be an independence in Wales is because of the NHS. This is crazy. One of the wealthiest countries in the world, and even though there's supposedly universal health care, there's a lack of access for most working class people. And people who have the haves and have mores, they can go to the private clinics. Now, the other day, they asked Rishi Sunak, they said, do your family use the NHS? And he didn't want to answer the question. He couldn't bring himself to answering the question. He never did answer the question. It's a yes or no. Do you have private insurance or do you use the NHS? Crickets. Neiman Marcus. Now, yesterday I mentioned this. Oh, by the way, let me hydrate and I'll get right back to you. Okay, it was one of the most searing images of the 20th century. Two young boys, two princes walking behind their mother's coffin as the world watched in sorrow and horror. As Princess Diana was laid to rest, billions wondered what Prince Harry and his brother must be. Okay, this comes from a bookstore that I found out was in Uganda. Yes, Uganda. On the African continent, in the nation of Uganda, near the Lake Victoria, as they call it in the Western world, they actually have a bookstore that proudly carries Spare. That is how far-reaching Harry's memoir is. It is in a bookstore, which appears to be in a shopping mall. Now, you guys know I had to do some investigating. I'm part of the Sussex Squad investigate. What is it? What do we call it? The Sussex Squad Detective Agency. And I found some images, and I chose this one. It looks like it's in the shopping mall. And my goodness, that looks like a well-appointed bookstore. I mean, and a very, very posh mall. Not exactly the image that we have when we think about Africa, is it? But as I have been learning increasingly over the years, that very dim Western view, that very murky looking light that we tend to look at South and Central and America or the continent of Africa, when you actually see how people are living, you find out that there is every modern amenity that there is. But what they choose to show on Western television is always so different. So there you go. Just like any place else in a very modern and somewhat posh shopping mall and a bookstore. So good for you, Harry. And it is called Aristoc. Book, stationery, and toys. How about that? Okay, these children will be documented. If anything, they fill out for Lily and Archie. They ask who their grandparents are. Charles and Diana's name will be in the documents and on the paperwork. Yeah, for California, I don't know how much privacy they have when it comes to certain documentations, especially like where education is concerned. And of course, the usual children's vaccines and whatever. So, yeah, but I'm sure that the private investigators that the tabloids hire will be sure to look for stuff like that. So, um, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that there is a law that protects their privacy, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. Okay. Misty Blue says the range that works says that Archie and Lilibet don't have titles because they live in the U.S. and because their parents stepped back as senior royals. Yeah, they need to believe that, don't they? That would be like saying that Harry and Meghan don't have titles. I really do hate that this title thing has become such a thing. But as we are here, I'll just say this: they likely will have dual citizenship as well. And I see no reason why. I mean, their titles may not carry any weight in the United States, but titles and names are almost one and the same, aren't they? So, especially where the royals are concerned. So, um, the opinion of someone who wants to see things in a very negative light, you could take that with a grain of salt. Thank you for sharing. All right, so there you have it. Canada has no plan to replace the Queen with King Charles III on its money. It's up to Prime Minister Scooby Snack. I mean, if there was ever any prime minister that you can consider to be a Scooby Snack, Prime Minister Scooby Snack Justin Trudeau's government to decide if she'll be replaced by her successor, King Charles III. And I say nay. I don't think that he wants to bother with that. Why go through the expense, especially during this time of inflation? It just doesn't seem logical. Plus, I am just assuming that he has some personal reasons why he may want to avoid that. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way, except it would be an expense. But I mean, maybe he has certain loyalties or connections from his work or from his personal life or whatever. This says, why bother with that? And also, the federal British Columbia government pledge, let me see here. Let me pull that down. 15, is that right? Federal is British Columbia government pledged $15 million each for the 2025 Invictus Games, an additional $1 million in federal funds to soldier on program for participation of Canada's veterans in the game. So Canada has a big event coming up in 2025. It's called the Invictus Games. Have you heard of it? And that event is something that Prince Harry is very heavily involved in. So maybe, just maybe, I'm hoping that there's something deep inside of one of the most attractive prime ministers of today. Hopefully, that there's something inside of someone who can fill out a suit like that. That someone who has that wall of luscious hair that says, I don't think we should bother. We'll just leave the money the way it is. As a matter of fact, let's put an indigenous First Nations person on the currency. How about that? But we don't need to put Charles III. So, Cloud Nugget is on Twitter. And Cloud Nugget says, let's say Harry decides to attend that waste of taxpayers' money colonizer coronation. Choose his coronation outfit. Are you guys ready to choose Prince Harry's outfit for the coronation? Something that really speaks to the Commonwealth? Shall we? How about this? You have the tunic with the gold braiding. I think there's gold braiding on the cuffs and on the front opening of the tunic, with some tapered trousers and loafers, no socks. And then also you have this rather offset angular tunic with a buttons on the right lapel side, and of course a pocket square. Very different, lots of nice architecture, as Megan would say, good clean lines. And then, of course, there's this, which almost gives you an Egyptian feel. Again, it is a tunic, no collar, and it has the very elaborate gold braiding on the cuffs and around the collar. It almost appears as though the sun is rising. So that is one of the possible looks. And then lastly, there's this one. As Megan loves to wear white, and we almost never see Harry wearing white, this may be a challenge with the young ones, but if they can make it out the door in time for the coronation, then of course certain parts of the Commonwealth may, feel a certain amount of warmth if Prince Harry wear this. So just to review, we have the first one, and then the second, the third, and the fourth one. If you had to choose one of those outfits that seem to come from the Commonwealth, which one would you choose? Kids Endorse says the first and the third. Okay. Anyone else? Creative Life says the first one. Yeah, I'm leaning toward the first one. I think that the gold one, the second one, kind of gives some holster hips, and who wants that? I mean, it's bad enough Charles seems to have those childbearing hips. We don't want that on him. Let me see there. Number one says Hope Garden. Okay. Lydia says one and two. Okay. And Gabby says one. All right. I think most people are going with number one. Number one seems to be the favorite. I like the structure of it. I love the longer coat, and I like the structure of it. It seems quite flattering for him. Of course, everything looks good on Harry. So, all right, I think it's unanimous. It's the first one. Everybody loves the first one, and then it kind of jumps back and forth on the others. So, all right. So, if Harry chooses to go to that waste of taxpayers' money, yes, right, three magnifique. Yes, three magnifique. Thank you, Charlotte. All right. When I look at this, it's not awful, but it's a little daring, I think, for the occasion. Although the fabric, the way the fabric lays is pretty nice. But I think with his ginger hair, it just kind of, the color bleeds into his hair. This one gives him a better silhouette, I think. So, all right. Thank you for your participation, everyone. Talk about seeing double. This medical professional, whose name I have withheld, but you may have seen it on social media, is a double gagger for Prince Harry. And as a matter of fact, he even said in the caption, well, this was bound to happen sooner or later. And there you have it. He came across a copy of Spare and held it up to his face. And my goodness, I tell you, I wonder how many people ever try to figure out whether they're actually seeing Prince Harry. And then also, much like our Prince Harry, he seems to be follically challenged around the crown area. So he is wearing a hat for more than one reason. And it turns out he's a medical professional. I don't know if he's a doctor or a nurse. He may be a nurse, I think. But God bless him. And he has actually worked with people that have been suffering from the pandemic. So seems like a really nice guy and has a very strong resemblance to Prince Harry. Absolutely, Black Queen. The more I look at him, I'm just like, wow, that's interesting. Especially the way he wears his beard. I mean, it's just the beard, the shape of his beard is perfect. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Very handsome. His beard is perfect. I mean, right on the money. If I saw him across the bookstore, I would strain myself trying to get a better view because I would assume that was Harry. Well, I just knocked myself out of the chat. I accidentally pushed the screen over to the right. But don't worry, you guys. I just made a mistake just now. So let me go back to where I was. Well, that scared me. I'm like, what happened? I think I was a little ambitious when I slid the mouse pad or trackpad. So we were at the bookstore, weren't we? Okay, so Big Brother is watching you. I don't know where that comes from, but someone had that on Twitter, and I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, Will's Middle East piece is his life's mission. Well, I didn't know that just like Kate, he too has his life's work. So at this time, he went over to the Wailing Wall, and he's been back and forth to the Middle East. Well, it seems as though Willie wants to, um, gesture some type of peace throughout the Middle East, something that has perplexed many a politician and sovereign for ages. All I've ever known my whole life is peace in the Middle East, a lasting peace in the Middle East. That merchant of death, Henry Kissinger, and the Middle East. You hear that all the time. As a matter of fact, saying Henry Kissinger, I have just alerted the algorithm that somebody just mentioned here Henry Kissinger. So if you guys hear me say there's a black sedan sitting outside of my apartment and has been there for about a week, it was because I just said Henry Kissinger. That is enough to have the men in black come after you. So anyway, that was his life's work. Now, it's hard to see that, but if I'm correct, I believe the date of this was July of 2018. I believe he was trying desperately at that time to differentiate himself from his brother and to seem more of a I guess he's trying to grow into an elder statesman. Well, he already has the look, but I suppose he's trying to grow into an elder statesman of some sort. So, or he just wants his bag of money. I think at this point, just like his father, he's ready for his bag of money. He wants his Fortnum and Mason chugged with large pound notes. Now that he's Prince of Wales, William is like, show me the money. Show me the money. Here, love. Think it through, love. Show me the money, love. William wants his money for charity, of course, wink, wink. But it seems like anytime a member of that family gets involved in the Middle East, suddenly people hand them a shopping bag full of money. I mean, that happens all the time, don't it? If you're a member of the royal family, people just hand you a bag of cash and you make friends in low places. And sometimes you don't even sweat. But yeah, it is time for William to get his money. Uh, are those barrels of oil, Mo Shannon? Is that what you're giving me as barrels of oil? Oh my God, that's too funny. Okay. But like father, like son, at some point, this is going to be the skeletons in his closet. So be careful what you ask for, William. You may not want that type of popularity. There's always strings attached to a Fortnum and Mason bag of cash. For charity, of course. Wink, wink. Always for charity. Wink, wink. And to prepare himself for his Fortnum and Mason bag of cash, wasn't it during the height of the pandemic, for some unexplained reason, William flew off to the Middle East just to pay his condolences to somebody who was just a phone call away? I mean, they have, what do they call those? Embassies, consulates, um, ambassadors, and they have all kind of people that could just pass on that message. William said he's sorry your daddy dead, okay? That's all he had to do. But instead, this champion of the environment hops on a carbon emission spewing jet. Oh, wait a minute. What happened to the sound? How long was that off? What? How long was the sound off? Did I just do that by mistake? Oh, that's weird. Oh, well. I must have done that by mistake. Well, never mind. Never mind. But anyway, I don't know what the bags of cash are for. But William is the Prince of Wales now. And one of the things that you get as a perk when you are the Prince of Wales is a Fortnum and Mason bag of cash. Wink, wink, for charity. You always have to throw in wink, wink. Wait, wink, wink, for charity. A Fortnum Mason bag of cash for William. Now, May the 6th is Prince Archie's birthday, to the likes of which Charles was made aware. Of course, we know he didn't do this on purpose. And once Charles found out, he said, Camilla, that's the only way people will watch my coronation. Camilla, oh God. I hate those bloody things. Well, that's the only way people will watch the coronation is if they number one, have it on Archie's birthday, and then of course invite the Sussexes. Now, here's an article, very good article. The public is tired of the royal family's performative philanthropy. Don't you love that? Now, this article is from Ralph Leonard. The royal family and their performative philanthropy. So, in the article, it says the royal family are supposed to be above politics, but philanthropy is part of their duty too. Putting their names behind good causes helps justify the privileged lives they live and the status they enjoy. This week, Kate and William faced backlash after their visit to a food bank, though we cannot know whether the couple donated to criticism that is, range from them turning up empty-handed in a luxury car to questioning the merit of visiting a food bank like one might visit a museum or an amusement park. Perhaps Kate's recent announcement of an awareness campaign for early childhood development was carefully selected to be above such critique. It's more universal and doesn't immediately allude to economic inequality at first glance. It sounds innocuous, harmless, and even quite generous. The problem with this major new awareness campaign, though, is that she says anything about what Britain is currently doing wrong, it would open her up to accusations of hypocrisy and undue political interference. Because of her royal status, she can't afford to send her children to the world-class £20,000 a year Lambrook School in Berkshire, which enjoys charitable status as other private schools do, based on questionable charity work. That school has seen its assets increase by 64% in recent years. And her focus on raising awareness carefully skates past the fact that we have plenty of research on how to best improve child development by reducing child poverty and educational inequality. Again, best to improve child development by reducing child poverty and educational inequality. But instead, the government cut staffing shortages, and inflation caused around 300 nurseries to close from 2021 to 2022. In fairness, this in itself is nothing new. There's always something rather hollow about royal philanthropy. Even Princess Diana, who was somewhat of a PR virtuoso with the AIDS advocacy in the 1980s, was not above it. While she campaigned for people with AIDS abroad, gay staff in the royal household were banned from bringing their partners to the Buckingham Palace annual Christmas ball. The practice only stopped due to bad publicity after a protest in 1995. King Charles has long been known for his environmentalist advocacy, also has a record of taking private jets for convenience. So let me see. There it is. But arguably, now the key pillar of the royal relationship with the public is under threat. The cost of living crisis is an important factor. Queen Elizabeth II's reign started during the long post-war economic boom. In contrast to Charles III's reign, will officially commence in a period of economic decline and reduced living standards. This is likely the reason our future king is considering a stripped-back coronation, but this economic mess is not the only problem. And of course, it goes on to mention Andrew, amongst other things, Susan Hussey, etc., etc. And if you want to see this article, it is, well, you know what? I will put it on the community tab for you. I'll do that right now. I'll put that on the community tab. But anyway, I like this kid. He's good. He is very good. Okay, community tab. Because if I don't do it now, you all know what is going to happen. So better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Look for this photo for the article. Okay, got it. And post. Kaboom. There we go. All right, you guys, let me get back over here where I'm supposed to be. All right, I'm going to take a look at a few of your comments before I proceed. Judith Reynolds says, Harry may go and the rest of the family remain home. That's an option. Archie doesn't know what day is his birthday. He can have it the weekend before or after. At this age, just having a party is for the family, not the child. Great point, Missy. I think the problem is just that they chose that day out of any day to have the coronation. It's not carved in stone that it even has to take place, not even to mention having it on the kid's birthday. It just seems deliberate and antagonistic is all. But yeah, I agree. Archie just wants to have a birthday like any other kid. He won't know the difference. I just don't like that it seems like they're targeting him in some kind of way. That is concerning and should be discouraged, should I say. Let me see. They might very well plan to execute their plans via the crowds and no witnesses like Princess Diana. And Fu, I hope that's not the case. Performative philanthropy is the perfect description of what Kate and William did. Waste of time and so thoughtless of them. Yeah, performative philanthropy. I think the other word that I've heard was, oh man, what did they call it? Poverty tourism or something like that. I think they called it poverty tourism. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Sharon Davis. Thanks for being here. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on. The sovereign grant is due to be raised by 30 million pounds over the next 2 years. They just had a huge raise. And oh well, I guess it don't matter. It's not even a matter of if. They're just going to give them the money, I'm sure. Thank you, Elaine. Lex says, I personally don't want them to go. It is just a reason to abuse them and then let their tabloids rats get pictures. They want pics of the kids. Yeah. But something has changed with Spare. And I'm not saying that is a justification of them going, but they have been exposed. And I do believe that the tabloids really do not want them there because it is, well, I guess they would make more money and get more, clicks and everything if the Sussexes show up, even if just one of them show up. But they, Harry has exposed the tabloid media. Harry has pulled back the curtain, and the entire world has had a chance to see how the sausage is made. And for that, I think they are furious with the Sussexes, and I really believe that they it's like they want them to come, but I don't think they trust themselves enough. I don't think the media trusts themselves enough for them to be there, because they are going to go on the attack, and they are going to be relentless in their criticism and lies, and it is all going to reflect really bad on Britain. So they should hope that the Sussexes don't come, because they are already exposed. The world is watching, and just from the book Spare, seeing that the young people, the future of Britain, seeing that their numbers for the idea of having an elected head of state and abolishing the monarchy, that has got to make them nervous. I don't care how cool they play it. I don't care if they have the bee and the wasp and the whatever spider. It doesn't matter. The fly. That is not a good sign, and it is a omen of what's to come. And I just don't think they're comfortable with that. And as for the people who report on the royal family, their wealth, their status as royal reporters is tied into having a royal family that is actually a functioning constitutional monarchy that has real power. And without that, their fortunes will decline. So, they one needs the other. All right. Carol Middleton's party pieces business had a terrible Christmas after expanding to the US. Princess Kate's mother is now locked in a dispute with firm supplier after postal strikes only added to their woes. Well, when we tried to reach out here at Royal Sussex, we tried to reach out to a representative of Carol Middleton, and we were just hoping to get some type of a comment. They said that Carol was indisposed right now and could not be reached, but that she had found some kind of way to handle this terrible news. So they said I shouldn't worry, that she was handling things as professionally and with a great deal of sobriety as possible. She is handling things with as much sobriety and professionalism as she could muster, and that there was no need to worry. Of course, when I heard about it, I was about as jumpy as a virgin at a prison rodeo. I was upset for her, but they said that things are working out and that she has a handle on it. So I am not going to interfere. I am not going to get in the way of her life experience. I'm just saying I have, Royal Sussex has reached out to the Middleton camp for comment, and they said that she wasn't available right now. Marina Mavroginis, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Hi. No, I'm fine. No, everything is fine. Don't worry about me. I said, don't worry about me. Everything is fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. The business is okay. Are you okay? Then I'm okay. 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 Neiman Marcus. Oh, yeah. Think it through, love. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. And look who's back. One of my favorite characters of last year, Liz Truss. I was brought down by the left-wing economic establishment. So she is doubling down on her inability to effectively govern as a prime minister. Now, we still don't know what happened in that exchange with the Queen, but all we know is there was a change in the royal family for the first time in 70 years. I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying it's odd timing, isn't it? And then, of course, the fact that she was only prime minister for about 10 minutes, also something to be alarmed about. Well, Liz Truss um, has decided to stage a political comeback. And so she emerged from wherever she hides. Yeah, Hogsworth. She emerged from Hogsworth and decided to roll herself back out on the world stage. Now, there are some conditions forthwith. There are some conditions as to whether or not she can enjoy any type of public life again. And one of which is what she shall wear when out in public amongst the defenseless masses of humanity that may encounter her. There are some conditions as to what she can wear. So far, they have come up with this. Whenever she's among innocent people, she has to wear a straitjacket. It is incumbent upon her, and for the safety of the innocent, that she is been told to wear this rather elaborate buckle and belted jacket when in public, just to make sure that other people are safe. Again, we still haven't, you know, figured out what happened to her yet. But we just know that this was the last meeting that she had ever taken in her life. And it just happens to have been Liz Truss. So until we sort some things out, she is required to wear this unusual jacket in public. And by the way, thank you to the squatty on the interweb who put that together. And of course, I thought it best to flank the image with two additional images of Liz Truss, either laying an egg or being or preparing herself to tackle Charles, or that may be a curtsy. Now I'm going to lean in on. It looks like she's getting into a lower stance so she can tackle him, but some people say it's a curtsy. Who am I to judge? Barbara Lane, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you. Yes, happy Saturday. Thank you for being here. Now, for whatever reason, some people have compared her very comical appearance in the Telegraph. They started seeing Wile E. Coyote because of the way she seems to believe that she defies certain laws of physics. Wile E. Coyote, I have succeeded. I'm sorry, I'd have succeeded if gravity didn't exist. So yes, there's a certain cartoonish nature about her, and for that reason, they assumed that she channeled Wile E. Coyote, and it does remind me of a Roadrunner cartoon. Meet, 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 meet. Again, thank you to the squad, whoever put that together. And then, of course, the day that Liz Truss made her visit to the Queen, Marky P on the Twitter, he took one look at her and he started seeing something that other people didn't. And from that point, he began to recite Vincent Price from Thriller. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. So, yes, there's something to be said about a person. There's something to be said about a person who invokes the idea of Michael Jackson's Thriller. And I myself had a different take. If you take a look to the left, I started seeing Children of the Corn. So I actually added the image of the Children of the Corn to the caption that was created by Mark EP. Now, you guys have heard a big thing about the Chinese balloon. Well, the Pentagon has actually released image of the Chinese spy balloon, and it turns out that that big bloated, lighter than air helium or nitrogen filled um, aircraft, that balloon was none other than the Donald Trump balloon. And it should not come as a surprise. And you know that anytime we saw the image, it seemed to be kind of blurry and grainy and far away. But it wasn't until you magnify it that you could see that it was actually the image of Donald John Trump in effigy. So, this effigy of Donald Trump careening across the countryside, it may have been some type of in joke with China. As you know, he can never just say China, is China, China. So, as Trump would say, it was China. I can't even say it like him, China. But yeah, so China decided to retaliate by creating a spy balloon, and they created it in the image of Trump. And maybe they thought anything that was so gassy and bloated and so common to everyday life in the US would go completely unnoticed. Well, obviously it did. I mean, somehow it made it across the western coast of the United States, all the way into the Midwest, almost undetected. It took a long time before we noticed it. So I guess one big gassy bag of hot air looks like any other. Joyce and Moore, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Now, you guys have heard that they had the thing shot down. I have an illustration that shows you exactly how they got it down. You know how they say you have to fight fire with fire? Well, President Biden had other ideas. So this is the unofficial means of deflating that hot air balloon. But and just to really show how much Donald Trump is despised, instead of using like an old leather strap on a rubber cord, they decided to use a slingshot made out of a mask that could have actually saved people. So it just goes to show that in spirit, even if it's not real, in spirit, if you want to fight fire with fire or fight a hot air balloon with something else bloated and gassy, this is another way you could do it. So cheers to Joe Biden for getting the job done. And not only that, they were able to interrogate said hot air balloon. And here you can see they're not exactly pistol whipping them, but they are somehow getting a confession out of that hot air balloon. So let me go. Let me go. It was China. See, let me go. It's the Democrats. It's Hillary's emails. And as for Joe Biden, success. Time to go and have a milkshake. And speaking of Joe Biden, you guys, I am done today, by the way. But speaking of Joe Biden, the jobs report came out, and it turns out that unemployment in the United States is about 3% right now, which is as low as it's been since, I think they said 1959. Incredibly low unemployment. Also, what else? Yeah, I guess that was it. That was the jobs numbers. So we got that hot air balloon out the sky. and the jobs numbers have come in. And of course, if they're bad, it doesn't matter who the president is, you get blamed. And if it's good, it doesn't matter who the president is, you get the praise. So good job, um, Joe Biden. Over 500,000 jobs have been added to the economy. I think in the last quarter, they said over 500,000 jobs. The estimate was 190,000. It's over 500,000. So that is absolutely incredibly good news. And you all should all be very proud that the American economy is chugging along in spite of everything. Things seem to be going very well. And even though a lot of people don't want to admit it, Biden has had a pretty good record so far. So yeah, that's what they were calling him, Dark Brandon. That's his nickname. Dark Brandon gets the job done. Amen to that. So I I'm just happy because you know what? His success is our success, and we need everything we can get. So I hope nobody goes to bed hungry. I hope everybody's house is warm wherever you are. And when you know better, you do better. So that is from Miss Maya Angelou. Also, happy African American Black History Month here in the United States. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space as per usual. And of course, I will be looking for the last word of the day. Let's see. Only for the month of January 2023. I'm sorry, what did I miss? Let me see. Yes, we do. We do. Matter of fact, did you guys catch that speech that Kamala Harris gave at the funeral? Well, the eulogy for Tyre Nichols? It was wonderful. That was a great moment for Kamala Harris. But vote, you guys, vote. I have to vote this spring, and I'm going to make sure that I do. If you guys want change, the first step is vote. Get out and exercise your constitutional right to change things. Get out there and vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Okay. Let me see. Cookies and Cream says, everyone, please continue to pray for the Sussexes, each other, and the world. Amen to that, Cookies and Cream. And with that, you guys, I yield my time. I reclaim my power, yield my time, and this has not been a Mark Goodson or a Bill Totson production. No animals were maimed or injured throughout this episode of Royal Sussex, and any nudity or violence was definitely simulated and probably not welcomed. I'm sure it wasn't welcome. And any depictions of Easter Island was definitely not done with the intentions of commercial gains or for purposes of evasion. It was just to demonstrate exactly how much space there is between one end of cranial mass compared to another. That was the only reason for bringing up Easter Island. And any references to an obsession of the Duchess of Sussex was born out of firsthand information that someone seems to be obsessed and has been brought to the point of, I guess, creating half truths, if not out and out vicious lies, to try and humiliate the Duchess of Sussex. So I do believe that there is an obsession there, and those obsessions can lead to fibs and or lies. So there you go. All right, guys, thank you so much, and thank you for being here. I am going to give our usual thanks to our faves, our faves, and that is our Queen of Hearts and our Queen of Everything. I got to tell you guys, I didn't know that Luther Vandross was involved in a fatal car accident. Did you guys know that? How did I miss that for the past, 40 years? Has it been 40 years? It was like 1986, I think. However long ago that was, I didn't know Luther Vandross was involved in a fatal car accident. Interesting, huh? And he settled out of the court. He pled no contest and then settled out of court. Go figure. I had no idea. Isn't that something? Well, I was looking at this. Someone has a channel where they talk about, I guess, scandals, entertainment scandals. And she was talking about Luther Vandross. You know, she has a series of videos, and she spoke about Luther, and I didn't see the other ones, but she has quite a few. And she was saying that Luther Vandross may have possibly have been romantically involved with someone in the car. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, but I just want you to know that the young man that died, his brother was in the back seat, and they had just completed an album. And when they were going out to celebrate, the car crossed the median on a curve, and it was a convertible Mercedes, a 1985 convertible Mercedes coupe. And well, the car turned sideways and was, I guess they say, T-boned, and the young man died. And Luther had to pay out a settlement. I was like, wow, I never heard any of this. They said that there was no indication that he was under the influence of anything. He and the brother of the injured party had to go to the hospital, but unfortunately, the older brother, who was in the passenger seat, did not survive. So I was just dumbfounded. I'm like, how in the world had I never heard this before? Isn't that something? How have I never heard this before? Do you recall the name of the channel? That's oh, if I go to my history, I should be able to find it there. So let me take a look at my history. Flashbacks of the time we shared, some made us laugh, and some made us sad. We used to break up to make up all the fun that came from those love games. Okay, so I'm scrolling down my history. Yeah, I didn't subscribe, so although I should have, but I know me, I'd start binge watching and get stuck. The young man, his name was Jimmy Salvini. I'm sorry, Salvemini, and his brother Larry was the one who died. So, okay, here it is. It's called Old Hollywood Scandals. Luther Vandross. Really, Luther? Lufa? Okay, let me just make sure I got the right one. Yes, so I will grab the link and share it with you guys. Lydia, I didn't know you liked to gossip. You never hear me gossip, do you? How dare you? I didn't know you liked to gossip. You never really know a person. You know that. Okay, so I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat so that Lydia can get her gossip on. We don't want her to miss out on some good, juicy gossip. And also, let me see here. Let me stop talking and do what I need to do. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my link. Oh, come on, I can't make this work. Wait, I got this. Don't nobody help me. No, nobody help me. I got this. Okay. Okay, so replace pinned message. All right, it's at the top of the chat, and you guys can find it yourselves. Let me make sure I got it. All right, here, take a listen.
You might as well go ahead and stand on the sidelines or have multiple seats, because they said Luther did not have nothing for you. But I do believe that this tea was that person's personal opinion. So I'm not sure if that's really tea, but apparently Luther gave off signs or vibes that.
Look at there. I'm going to leave you guys hanging. Signs or vibes that, and I guess you'll have to go and find it yourself. Let me see here. I said credit the young man, not Luther, but I will. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to force your hand, but you're talking about the credit card guy. Okay, let me find his channel. Yeah, the one that some person was picking on. I can't stand a bully. Gosh, I hate a bully. Here he is doing the best he can with what he has to work with. He just started his channel, and let me see.
One of the most popular mid-tier travel cards.
Okay, but yeah, this is what I'm finding is that if you have those cards and you're not getting the benefits out of them, you really have to just pay attention to I use those YouTube channels for everything. So his name is Chandler Vernon, and that's his channel right there. Now I can pin it to the top of the chat, but I want to give you guys a chance to get the other one. So if you want to click on that other one first and just have it in your history so you can go back and watch about Lufa. I mean, it's some good gossip. You can like do your dishes or make your dinner or whatever and just pass the time. And then for this young man who only has 287 subscribers because people were somebody said something so nasty about him. Let me post that one. I mean, to tell you, people can be so cruel. Why do people have to be bullies? Why? You know, he's trying his best to start a community of his own. And then here come people, well, just this one person, start a community of his own. Okay, raining on his parade. Okay, now this is for, what I say his name was? Vernon something. So if you guys want to go over there and help him out, you know, just click on it. He's trying his best and he'll find his voice sooner or later. He's just a kid, and somebody picking on him. You can look at the comments and see where they said the nastiest thing to him. I was just like, what is you doing? It's just a kid. You know what I'm saying? Just a kid doing his best to try to be a part of something greater.
Everyone in
and yeah, so I'm going to find that comment that the person left. I don't understand this review. You are just reading out the benefits. You're just reading out the benefits. I don't understand. I I don't understand this review. You're just reading out the benefits. So he's trying to find his voice. He only started the channel. When did he start this channel? In December. He only just started his little channel in December. He's trying to figure out stuff himself. And part of the process is that he's bringing other people along on his journey. And then one nasty individual had to try to undermine his confidence. God, get a boy a break. Ugh. Ugh.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my.
Oh man, let me turn that volume off there. But yeah, so that's it. I just hate a bully. Let me see. Are you really, Lydia? Okay. I mean, I don't want to have any bad influences on you watching and something old gossipy thing about Luther Vandross to pass the time. But if you do, ooh, ooh. That's all I have to say is ooh. Really? I mean, it's not terrible gossip, but I had no idea about this car. I'm like, how did that happen? And I didn't know about it. Well, it was just part of a string of things that Luther has been able to keep on the down low. So that was just one of them. So there you go. All right, you guys, I will, what am I going to do? I am going to, I better bust a move. Okay, so thank you so much, you guys. And yes, it is time to cue the Ginger Adventure. I will see you all tomorrow. Petal was on earlier today with her book club. I hope you guys had a chance to watch it. If not, go to Facts and 2 Cents and you'll find it. Also, I believe Sharian was on earlier today. I didn't get a chance to see that one, and I've watched just a little bit of Petal, but maybe that's what I'll do this evening. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and it is time to cue Ginger Avenger. Oh, thank you, Mo Shannon. I'm so glad. I hope that more people will, because he's trying to find his voice in a world that can be very, very cruel. And I was just, when I saw that, I just had a reaction. I'm just like, what is you doing? I mean, I guess I can't be too surprised because I had a few people do that to me when I first started. And you just have to look past those things and just, soldier on, because some people are hurting and they want other people to hurt too, I suppose. Really? I had a super chat? Let me see. Oh, sorry about that. Baron, your girl Don. Donatella having issues on this morning show. I guess Caitlin, keep talking. I heard he yelled at someone. I heard he yelled at someone that he was seen berating her. Didn't he have like his own show on CNN? And they said that Donatella Limon is French, It's Italian and French. Donatella Limon has Donatella Limon has been, how do we say, demoted. He has been demoted and then cast to the peripherique. That's French, peripherique, the outer edge. He has been cast to the peripherique. So Donatella ain't got that much steam or that much power anymore. Donatella has turned into a big nobody. And maybe that's why Donatella was trying to dress up like Meghan, thinking, oh, well, if I try to make myself look like the most influential woman in the world, maybe that will help. But it didn't. Now, she looked pretty now, but it didn't help. So, sorry, Donatella. Let me stop before she started yelling at me. I don't want to pick up the phone and have Donatella on the other end blessing me out. Although I have to say the outfit on Meghan looked very chic and elegant. On Donatella, she looked like the Lost Pointer sister. So Donatella looked like the Lost Pointer sister. I mean, she really looked like a Pointer sister that had just got out of a program, if you know what I mean. That's what she looked like. She looked like one of the Pointer sisters just left the Betty Ford clinic or something. Oh man. And we're supposed to believe that you waited until Halloween to pull out them slingbacks? Sure. Sure, Donatella. You waited until Halloween to yank them slingbacks out the back of the closet. I don't think so. I kind of think those slingbacks would like maybe just under the edge of the foot of the bed, ready to go. But yeah, looked like an old Lost Pointer sister. It's like a Pointer sister wandered into the desert back in the 1970s. Remember how they used to dress up in that 1940s look? And it looked like she just kind of wandered off and came back on Halloween of 2022 and just sat down like we wasn't supposed to notice. But we did. We did, Donatella. We all noticed. What was that they said on that movie Carrie? They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. Remember the movie Carrie? And was that her mother that told her that when she said she was going to prom? They're all gonna laugh at you. And then all of a sudden they dropped that bucket of pig blood on her head or whatever. And she just kept hearing it over and over again. They're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to. Let me stop because I'm telling y'all to go over there and click on that boy's channel. And I'm sitting up here talking like this. He'll be sorry that I even saw his channel. So let me stop. Okay. I got that out my system. They're all going to laugh at you. Oh, Donatella with them slingback heels and had on that try. I don't know. I'm just thinking, was she really trying to look like Meghan, or was that the old mahogany outfit that she used to wear before Meghan wore that outfit? You know what I mean? It's not exactly like Meghan's. The cape was kind of detachable, but still it had a very similar silhouette. But instead of having a petite young lady, as part of the silhouette, it was, some dude. It was a dude. So, some feller. Listen, you guys, it is 2 hours and 20 minutes into this, whatever this is. So I'm going to go. You guys go and get the gossip about Luther. I'll put that one back up. Wait, let me see. And then please go over to the young man and just click on it. You ain't got to watch it, but just click on it. Let me see. Where is Lufa? Was this Luther? I think this was. Wait, I can't do it from here. I got to go to the other one. Flashbacks of the times we shared. Some made us laugh, and some made us sad. We used to break up and make up. And that thing with him and what's her name? Oh gosh, Anita Baker. What was that all about? I still don't know what that was about. Two divas clashing. How tacky. Okay, I can't find it, so I'm gonna go. I'll put it in the community tab if you guys want to watch it. I'll move the gossip over there so we can find out about what happened to Lufa. All right, you guys, that was a messy closing to Royal Sussex, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, moderators. Thank you all for your generous contributions to Royal Sussex. And thank you for clicking on my video. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hi, I'm Lauren Brown. Hello, Ivy here. Oh, man. I kind of don't want to go. I'm having fun now. But no, I'm going to go. All right, so see you guys. And what else did I need to do? Oh yeah, Ginger Avenger. Okay, cute Ginger Avenger, and see you all tomorrow. You put your long chin in, you take your long chin out, you put that long chin in, and you shake it. You do the Camilla Tomini, and you shake it all about, and that's wrong. Whatever. Okay, what was I about to do? Oh man, I promise you, I don't smoke anything. I'm just a little punchy right now, so give me just a second to cue Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all. Hasta luego. See ya mañana. Okay. You put your forehead in, you pull your forehead out, you put your forehead in, and you shake it all about. Oh man. from the islands of Easter, it's Camilla Tominey. Wait, I disagree with that. Oh man. It's just so ridiculous. Okay, that was it, you guys. I gotta go. See you